next, viewers, we're tracking some breaking developments with respect to the Prime Minister. Now we're being told is going to chair a meeting to review the COVID-19 situation in the country. And the meeting, we are being told, is going to be held at about 4:30 p.m. today. And this comes when on the day where 1.6 lakh cases had been reported in the last 24 hours in the country of India. And we have seen how several measures and restrictions have been taken by the government to make sure that they contain the situation in the rising number of cases of COVID-19. For more details on this review meeting, we're being joined by our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, on the phone line. Abhishek, this meeting that is going to be held at 4:30 p.m. today, what more are you picking up? What is going to be discussed in this particular meeting?
Well, Priyanka, we are in the midst of a massive third wave, almost turning into a tsunami. Just about a fortnight back, we were having about 5,000 to 6,000 cases a day. Today, it has reported 1,51,000. So you can imagine it's almost 3,000% increase in just about a fortnight, and the numbers are increasing with massive positivity ratio of about 20%, which means of every 100 tests being done, 20 are testing positive. This is going to have consequences for the health infrastructure, obviously, despite the fact that we are much better prepared this time than, say, of the first wave or the second wave. Also, the fact that 151 crores of vaccinations have happened, the fact that about 2 crore children have got their, children in the age group of 15 to 18 years have got their first dose. Prime Minister, has been doing these periodic reviews, making sure that the government and the local administrations are on top of the developments and making sure that whatever ill effects of the pandemic are minimized. So this is one of those reviews where Prime Minister would be meeting with his officers in the Prime Minister's office, and also, of course, the Health Ministry, and then the entire pandemic administration, which includes, of course, the nodal ministry, which is the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Epidemics Act, and so the bureaucrats from the Ministry of Home Affairs. And we are told that there would be all inputs discussed insofar as the health administration is concerned. So be it the ICMR, be it the Department of Biotechnology, which is carrying out research, parallel research, ongoing research for a booster dose, even as the government has started the precaution dose program, which kickstarts tomorrow. The registrations for which started last midnight. So the Prime Minister there essentially are taking a review of preparedness, taking a review of the rollout of the precaution dose program, and in general about making sure that given the massive positivity ratio being reported for the third wave, what needs to be done irrespective of whether it is mild or not.
Well, yes, Abhishek, this review meeting is surely going to have a lot of discussions, with, of course, also with respect to the fact that 1.6 lakh cases that had also been registered in the last 24 hours. I thank you for joining us on the broadcast with those details. And now up next, viewers, we're tracking the recent developments with respect to the Prime Minister's security breach, where in fact politics still continues over the Prime Minister's security breach. And now the BJP has hit out at the Channi government. In a tweet sent out by Sambit Patra, he says, and I quote, "A sitting chief minister briefs Priyanka Vadra on PM security," and he's asking why. What constitutional post does Priyanka hold, and who's she to be keeping a loop regarding the Prime Minister's security? He says, "Channi Saab, to be truthful, you must have said to her, it's done. What you said, it's done." Now, of course, this is another massive statement coming in from Sambit Patra. And for more details on this, let me also go across to my colleague Madhurima, who's joining us on the broadcast. Madhurima, we have seen how the political posturing has continued over this Prime Minister's security breach. In the latest now, Sambit Patra hitting out at the Channi government and claiming, why were they briefing Priyanka Vadra? What more are you picking up?
Well, Priyanka, if we see that this particular issue is what the Congress is trying here is that they want to brush it under the carpet, and they are making massive efforts and strides in that direction. Where Mr. Channi is trying to, belittle the entire issue, which is a massive issue of the Prime Minister's security breach, and he says that what all can be done. There was so much deployment, everything was there. The protesters was 1 kilometer away, making all these statements. He said that I have also briefed Ms. Priyanka Gandhi. Of course, there is no need to brief the Congress top rank because they do not hold any constitutional post. And Mr. Sambit Patra is somewhere right in his own, for taking a stand for the country and for the post of the Prime Minister, that Mrs. Vadra did not need any briefing from Mr. Channi. He should have briefed and responded to the security forces that day, because that is what it is being alleged, that Mr. Channi did not even answer the phone of the security detail following the breach was reported. So this is the massive anger coming from the side of the BJP, and Mr. Patra pouring it out on Mr. Channi, the Chief Minister of Punjab, as to not enough was done, and why did you brief Ms. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, because the kind of statements that were registered after this particular breach, where the Congress leader, as Smriti Irani in the press conference said, that asked the Prime Minister, how's the Josh? Such things should be condemned, and this is what Mr. Patra is highlighting here, Priyanka, that why did you brief her? Was it that this is what he's alleging, that why did you brief her? Was it a part of a conspiracy? You wanted to tell her that the plan has gone as it was sketched, and this is the thing that Mr. Patra is highlighting. Rest we'll have to wait and watch as to how this entire thing snowballs. Priyanka.
Well, yes, in fact, it is already snowballing, Madhurima, as you're pointing out, since political posturing on the PM security breach still continues. I thank you for joining us on the broadcast.